So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into all of that in just a second, obviously. It's not the most bullish day or week for crypto. I mean, again, I don't want to get too into the conversation here before we go through our typical introduction, but I think that people had expected a little more fireworks last week, and here we are, not looking quite as strong as we had hoped, which is unfortunate. And we'll get into, again, the macro conditions. We'll get into kind of how to contextualize this in the historical context, as well as we've got some other exciting news and some not so exciting news. We've got a hack, we've got an airdrop, we've got a lot to get into. And of course, I know Alice kicked things off already, but this is the weekly crypto forecast. This is the show where we bring you all the latest alpha that you need to know this week from the world of crypto and digital assets. I'm your host for today's episode, Jonathan, the content lead here at CoinMarketCap. And of course, I am joined by Alice, the research lead here at CoinMarketCap. Amina, other than the market kind of not picking up, how was your weekend? Did you do anything interesting?
Yeah, the week has not been too bad. I mean, it's quite a busy week for me personally, but apart from that, it was very nice. I was at Blockchain Live conference last week,
Ooh,
speaking at two panels, but also CMC got an award. We got an award for Crypto Analysis Tool of the Year. I'm quite proud for the team. I think it's really awesome to get knowledge for. We have a very big team actually here at CMC look after different start with the developers and looking after different products, and we have a quite a nice team like all around, and it's nice for all our efforts to be seen and acknowledged.
absolutely. Shout out to the team. I mean, even with this show that we bring you every week, it may be Alice and myself up here or Alice and Gab up here, but there is a whole team behind the scenes that brings the technical support, the community support, the social support. It really is a whole network of people that make this show possible. And of course, that is, you know, not even including the whole community, all few hundred of you listening, and there's several more that are going to join, I'm sure. All of you make this show possible, as I make sure to say it every episode, so hopefully you're aware of that. But in case you're not, this show is not possible without you guys. Now, with that said, to make sure that you are able to participate in the show and you never miss an episode, be sure to download the CoinMarketCap app and turn on your notifications to be alerted for this next episode next week and any other lives that we have. You can always catch today's live as well as every other previous live over at coinmarketcap.com/community/lives or in the live section of the app. And you can also listen to the show after the fact on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast platform. All right, with all of that said, with everybody here,
24 hours. If I open the page of crypto market overview right now on CMC, it's all red, everything in red. And that's not good. So let's look at some of the key data points. BTC dominance, 24-hour trade volume is still healthy though, 152 billion USD for the past 24 hours. That's on the healthy sort of normal side. So that's good news because we don't see liquidity drying up in the market. It's just the price is not giving us the action we wanted. Dominance, BTC right now is at 59.7%, flat for the past week, Ether at 12.5%. And CMC Crypto Fair and Grid Index right now is 36. We are back into fair zone again. Altcoin season not happening, 27 out of 100 at the moment. And if we look at the ETF net flows, it's actually giving us quite a big outflow for the not just the past week, and it's been continuously for a few days now. So we're seeing that trend of institutional quieting down. And in terms of the price levels, as we speak, the price for BTC is at 107,732 USD. That's actually down for 6.18% for the past week. Is quite a significant pullback. Ether had a bit of mixed actions. Right now, Ether is at 3,711 USD. That's down 10.7% for the past week. Starting the week, Ether did have very good 4.2K sort of price ticks, but then we saw that trending down gradually. Last week, as we said, everyone was eyeing on Jerome Powell's speech and the Fed decision, so that was a lot more optimism in the market waiting for news to happen. Now things are crystallized. We're seeing settling the news trend a little bit. If we look across the board, oof, it's not easy. It's all red, but there are still some top gainers within this pile of red sea. If we saw for the past 7 days, some of these projects led the growth. Number one is Dash. Number two is official. Dash gave us a 66% uplift for the past 7 days. And then Trump token followed by 20% almost up for the past 7 days. And then number three is ICP, is up 18.5%. Number four, Meme Core up 16%, and Bitensa Tau, ticker TAO, is up 15%. Things started to adjust because that's on the 7 day time frame, and across the board, we saw privacy tokens getting quite a bit of a lift. And if you rank by 24-hour performance, Zcash has flipped that of Monero. It's up 3% for the past 24 hours. Meme Core again on this chart up 3%. So even for today, for this 24 hours, I think some of these tokens like Trump, like World Liberty Financials, all of this are getting a bit of pump continuously going into this week. So yes, overall, I would say the market is flat and we're seeing quite a bit of a pullback from last week's optimism about macroeconomics and whatnot. So yes, that's the general market update. Jonathan, is this surprising to learn, or how do you feel about opening up CMC this morning?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would say it's surprising to learn. I mean, I guess I would say, obviously, that I wish that the situation were different. I think that people last week, with the Fed meeting, especially, were sort of hoping for, expecting a bit more bullish news. They were expecting Jerome Powell was going to come out as the U.S. Fed chair, U.S. Central Bank, come out and say, like, something super bullish and announce a gazillion more rate cuts, or even just commit to future rate cuts, which he didn't really do. And I think part of that is the market kind of hoping that there was going to be something bullish last week. I was catching up on the news from last week in preparation for today's show, and I was listening to people talk about back on, like, I think Tuesday it was, like, oh, this is going to be an incredible bullish turnaround this week for Bitcoin, and then here we are, and like you said, there were a couple of moments like when ETH hit the 4.2K mark again, but overall, again, looking back on these, especially the 7 day charts, it's just a little sad, you know. I was hoping that we might be doing a little better, but I think the privacy coin story is a really interesting one that we're going to get into in a few minutes here. And I don't know, it's kind of interesting that that's like where we're seeing the green there. But perhaps this is a time to look at kind of the broader context and historical context for how October typically fares for Bitcoin, and then how this October has fared, and what that might mean for December and the rest of the month. So I'm gonna pull up this Glassnode chart here, Alice, and
Yeah.
yeah, I think we can jump into that.
Yeah, let's talk about this because I think I'll describe and you guys would understand what I mean. You know this line chart of, bro, it's so over. Bro, we're so back. It's over. We're back. Like it's that type of market for us now. It's up and down. So let's look at it because October finished. This is our first November crypto weekly crypto forecast. So BTC typically um, goes up in October. It did not happen for us this time. It dropped about 3.7% in October. And so far in November, it's also fallen another 1.76% just within the first 3 days. First 3 days. And on average, as you can see on the chart here that Jonathan is showing you guys, on